I am delighted to bring you today my interview with the one and only Amjad Al Rasheed, the award-winning director of the film Allah, Walad. He'll be joining me here in Amman to speak about his new film. Shukran Amjad for agreeing to this interview.
Thank you, Ramzi. Thank you for having me. Shukran Khair.
Stay tuned. Welcome to the Arabology Show. I have with me today in the studio the one and only Amjad Al Rasheed, director of the film Inshallah, a Boy, in Arabic, Inshallah Walad, a movie that has taken the world by storm. I have had the chance to see it. I have not forgotten it. And to sit here with the award-winning director himself in Amman, Jordan, is a moment I will never forget. Amjad Al Rasheed, ahla wa sahla fi barnamaj Arabology.
Ahlan Ramzi, thank you for this interview.
كيفك أمجد؟
Alhamdulillah, we're speaking in English, right?
Oh yeah. But I put Arabic and English together the way we do in Jordan.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm asking how you're doing is because a lot has happened and very quickly for you.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with all the exposure, all the new responsibilities, travels, etc.? Tell us a bit about Amjad Rasheed's life today.
Actually, it's huge. Being in Cannes with my first feature film as a first Jordanian film in Cannes, it's big, it's huge, and winning an award also in Cannes, it's also still processing all the emotions. But was it fast? It was not fast. I've been working on this project since 6 years now.
Wow.
Which I think now, reflecting back on it, it's like the normal cycle for an independent movie. It takes time to develop a good story and to finance it, and then to find the partners. It was a long journey that ended happily.
Well, it's still happening. So let's talk about some of the awards and some of the mentions that the film has gained lately, and let's begin with the Cannes Film Festival. And so can you tell us a little bit about the Cannes Film Festival, which I believe was the first time that the audiences there witnessed a Jordanian film?
True, very true. It was the first time as a Jordanian film to participate in Cannes. To be honest, it was overwhelming experience. It was crazy. Everybody was telling me be prepared, it will be crazy, and it was more than I expected. The attention that the film got from the audience, from the critique, from everybody. I was walking in the street, people stopping me and telling me how they enjoyed the film and they liked it. And it was so amazing for me that mostly women, actually, they stopped me and they were telling me thank you for doing this film.
Wow.
And to have this feedback from Western audience and to feel related to the concept of the film and to what the character is going through is an amazing feedback for me, because it's true that I'm talking about a specific detail in our society in Middle East and Jordan, but still I'm echoing other issues in the West, which is the main idea for me, to have a bigger audience to connect with my story.
It's interesting that you say women stopped you. I mean, we're talking about Western women, right? Maybe European women who related to the film, although let's say the inheritance laws in Europe are not the same.
Yeah.
But they still resonated with them in terms of the oppression,
exactly.
the kind of maybe issues that relate to feminism in the West. They were able to relate to that.
Yeah.
And I have heard that from Stanford people as well. But the story itself zooms in, for those people who haven't seen the film, on one specific female character, and her name is Nawal, and her plight. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to even come up with the concept of Inshallah Walad?
It's a very personal story for me. It was inspired by a close relative of mine, she's a woman who dedicated her life for the service of her family, her daughters and her husband. And when she bought the marriage house, she bought it from her own money, but her husband insisted on her to transfer the house deeds into his name. because it's a shame for a man to live in a woman's house. And she did it. She did that. I don't know why she did that, but she did it. And when he passed away, the family of her husband, they came and told her, we will allow you to live in your house. And the sentence, we will allow you, raised many questions. And usually there is one question that usually inspires me to tell stories. It starts with, what if? What if they don't? What if they insisted on having their part of their inheritance? What are her options? And is it possible for her to say no? We're still ruled by laws that was created 1,400 years ago. And I was thinking, is it possible that we are still ruled by these laws? So all these questions fueled the idea of Inshallah a Boy, and I started to do my research about other cases in the society, and from there I inspired to tell this story of survival, empowerment, and what if a woman dare to say no in such society.
Right. And even in the film, I mean, there is that one part which is part of, think of the trailer, is when she said, well, what if I was pregnant with a boy?
Yeah.
What if I had a boy?
Exactly.
And I think to Western audiences, this needs a tiny bit of contextualization in the sense of, you know, if a woman is widowed and does not have any male children, even if she had 10 female children and the late husband hadn't written anything in her name, who does the inheritance go to? The
family of the husband.
Right.
Yani part of the inheritance goes to the family of the husband.
Right. And in this case, in the movie, the
brother-in-law,
uncle, the paternal uncle of
yeah.
the girl, and basically that's where the movie, you know, really takes off, is the dynamics between the widow, who, as you said, has contributed towards the house, and has a daughter, and the brother-in-law, who now is trying to use the power
take his and what I tried to do with this film, to put all my characters in a gray zone, where there is no absolute evil or absolute angel. Each character, they have their own motivation to what they're doing, and I did that intentionally to raise moral questions. Even if you have the law behind you to support you to do this, would you do it? It's a question. Putting these characters, like the brother-in-law, here, he needs the money and he's not stealing from her, he's following the laws. So, but the law, does it have like a human component or not? So all of these raise moral questions, and this is my main intention, to raise questions.
It's very difficult to hate him, right? I mean, it's not black and white. You do find him to be sympathetic, but then there are some parts where you really dislike him. Let's talk a little bit about the controversy that has unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, resulted from Inshallah Walad. And here I'm relying on people who have seen the movie or have witnessed, you know, some debates that concern the movie. And it seems to me that there is a little bit of a hesitancy or a fear about the way the film will be received in Jordan and in the Arab world once it has its cinema release. How do you feel about that, and what are the messages you've received?
Well, it's not premiered in the Arab world yet. It will be soon, inshallah. I hope that the film will open a conversation where we can think more about what has been normalized on us. I believe that films usually starts when people leave the cinema. It goes with them to the home, to the coffee shop, to whatever they go, and people start a conversation about the topics that the film is presenting. And I hope that the film will open a conversation at least. And I believe that we are in a critical phase in the Arab world and the Middle East where we need to think, and I hope we think more about everything, especially again with what have been normalized on us as tradition or adat wa taqalid wa stuff like that.
So you foresee the film premiering in cinemas in Jordan with minimal controversy?
No, to be honest. I have no expectations. The thing is, we're following a human story, so I hope that people will relate to this human story.
But then on the other hand, your movie is being released at the heels of a Ramadan series from Egypt that was called Taht al-Wisaya, and in which Muna Zaki plays the part of a widow who is in a similar situation, and that led to the Egyptian government actually changing the laws. And I think that circles back to my question about you is, although you're not, as an artist, you're just presenting what it is it part of the hope that some of these new cultural productions will serve to make life more equitable for women?
Yeah, I hope so, definitely. It's not the goal of the film, it's not my intention, but I hope so. I hope, again, with re-evaluating all these laws, re-evaluating the way we deal with each other as human beings and how we deal with women specifically. I think sometimes we don't need a film to do that. It's just like obvious. Right. Maybe the film will help to highlight some issues, definitely. But yeah, I hope so. I hope things will change and we improve with our lifestyle, because we say that women are half of our society, and how would our society develop unless we give this half an equal rights and fair laws that supports them? It's a society issue. It's not only a woman issue.
Let us move to the superb cast, spearheaded by the one and only Muna Hawa. Now, I have to tell you, for so many of us in the United States, we were familiar with her oeuvre from Barbahar, In Between, in which she played a completely different character, to other films she's been involved in, including one about Gaza this year, right? Gaza Weekend. So how did you develop this relationship with her, and how did she come to star in your film?
Actually, I've been doing casting for this film since long time, and once I saw, maybe 2-3 years ago, I saw a previous work for Muna. I think it was Barbahar, and I felt that this is my Nawal. But before deciding, I needed to know her. It was important for me, the talent was obviously there, but also the character, her character as a human being. I needed to understand her as a human being. So because she is living in Palestine, I live in Jordan, so we had this Zoom meetings all the time where we discuss many topics, including the script, the story, Nawal, and her journey and everything. And I was like focusing not only on her ability to act or her range of emotions. That was there. I was pretty sure of it. She's one of the most talented actresses in the Arab world, I think. But what I needed is to understand her as a human being, and to understand her body language, how she stands up, how she walks, how she looks. These are very important elements for me that help me to motivate her in the rehearsals and on set. I did the same thing with all cast, and this is why it took me years to lock the cast. And thanks to my producers Roland Nasser and Asil Bouayash to give me this time. Muna is not only a talented actress. No, she's a smart woman. She's a strong woman, and I would love to work with her again, actually.
In fact, I think you needed an actress with a portfolio that included, let's say, daring films for this role, because it is such a demanding role in the wide range of emotions. And so she flew into Jordan and was here to film the entire time. And the film was, of course, filmed all around Amman and Jordan. Beautiful landscapes. We saw the streets, the charm, as well as the hustle and bustle of the city. But how challenging was it for you to film all these outside scenes in a city as busy as Amman?
Well, with good producers, the things become easy, to be honest. It was challenging, definitely, but it was not problematic. It was, I can say that the shooting were smooth in general. All the crew and the cast were very cooperative. They were doing it with passion. It was a great time. I love my work and I love to be on set. So whatever obstacles were like normal obstacles of any shooting, and thanks to my producers, they made it easier.
Your journey continues. Where is Inshallah Walad going next? And where is Amjad Al Rasheed going next?
Well, the film is going all over the world now. It was in Sydney Film Festival, now it's in Melbourne. We went to Karlovy Vary. We were going to Busan in South Korea. And it's a big tour. Like till this moment, I think we are selected to 32 film festivals, all of them like the biggest. It's very exciting moment for me and for the film. I think it's a good way to start with Cannes, of course, and then to continue with all of these festivals.
But I hear that you are already thinking of the next project, and I know you're not at liberty to discuss it, but I mean, are you there? Are you mentally in the next stage, or you're just enjoying the present accolades?
You know what? I love my work, so I feel like if I can't stop. So, and it's not that I need to do something. It's the story imposing itself on me. Since I stopped shooting last year, and during the post-production, there's this idea that I'm thinking about, and now I'm in the early stages of development. So,
Inshallah. So you'll keep us updated about the new film, and we want to wish you the best in terms of what you are doing. The film is truly superb, and we look forward to screening it in the United States, and specifically at Stanford, where I know my students and our faculty and community would embrace such a powerful, brave film. Amjad Al Rasheed, thank you so much for being the person you are, and for putting Jordan on the world map in terms of film.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.